Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to my channel Cam Science. Today we will be studying the very specific topics of solution and colligative properties. And let me tell you, this is one of the most important topic. I mean to say that although electrochemistry, as far as class 12 is considered, electrochemistry is one of the most important topic. But without having the exact knowledge of this topic, solution and colligative property, we may get trapped in the questions of electrochemistry as far as joint entrance exam advance is considered, right? So this is a very interesting topic, and we will surely enjoy. I mean to say, there are few topics into it in which 98% of Indian students used to get confused that, oh God, it is likely impossible, highly impossible, highly unlikely to solve these kind of questions. But today we will be taking the topic in the symmetrical manner, very comprehensive manner, so that our subjective approach is developed, right? So before proceeding, I would like to ask everybody among you that please don't forget to subscribe the channel Cam Science, and please press the bell icon as well, right? So the student who are preparing for JEE mains and advanced, let me tell you that whatever the lectures I'm putting on, the video lectures, be sure that if you attempt the question after just reading the lecture, after just attending the lecture, after watching the videos, you will definitely be in a position to solve the questions of previous year. And if the student solve the previous year questions after reading the theory, it means the student is on the right track. And the student who are preparing for the NEET exam, let me tell you, you don't need to refer any kind of book after watching these lectures. Any kind of book, any book. You directly attempt the questions, any question. You will definitely attempt all of the question, 100% of the question. This is my guarantee. Mark my words. I am telling this with 100% authority. So coming back to the topic, starting it. So we have solution and colligative property, and we are studying a particular topic which is vapor pressure. Okay, we are studying the topic vapor pressure. So let us say we do have a container. Now this is the container shown over here, and liquid is filled in the container. Okay, now this is a straight line. Up to this level the liquid is filled. So what is actually happening? The liquid is somewhat volatile. It is volatile means whose molecules will leave the surface of the liquid and will turn into vapors. It is not 100% non-volatile, okay? It is a volatile liquid, and these are the molecules, small white circles. These are the molecules of the liquid. Now what will happen? Now the container is closed, mind it, okay? The container is completely closed. Now what will happen? The molecules of the liquid will leave the surface and will collect into the empty space of the container. Here we have shown the molecules. These are the molecules of the liquid. Now the molecules are in vapor phase. Initially the molecules were in liquid phase. Now what will happen? More number of molecules will come to the surface, and they too will convert into the vapor. But a stage will come when these molecules will lose the energy and will again be liquefied. Now this is called condensation. The conversion of vapor into the liquid is called condensation. So initially what will happen? The level of the liquid will decrease slightly. Why? Because the molecules of liquid has left the surface, liquid surface, and they have converted themselves into the vapor phase. So after a certain amount of time, what will happen? The vapors will convert into the liquid. That process is called condensation. And what will happen? The rate will equalize. The rate of evaporation will be equalized to the rate of condensation. After a certain amount of time, the rate of evaporation will become equal to the rate of condensation, and that is called the equilibrium condition. That is called the equilibrium condition. So the pressure exerted by the vapors at equilibrium is called vapor pressure. How do we measure this pressure? We can attach a barometer, attach a proper equipment, and at the equilibrium, whatever the needle in the equipment is showing us the reading, that is called vapor pressure. That is the pressure exerted by the vapors at the equilibrium condition is called vapor pressure. That is called vapor pressure. Everybody understands that? That is called vapor pressure at equilibrium. So let us say we have a liquid which is little bit less volatile, or we can say we have a liquid in the experiment whose boiling point is high. It means the vapor pressure of the liquid is less comparatively. Keep it in mind. Higher the boiling point, lower is the vapor pressure. Everybody understands? Why? Because what is boiling point? Tell me. At which the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equal to external vapor pressure. If the container is open, obviously the external vapor pressure is 1 atmosphere. So let us say the vapor pressure of the liquid is 0.94 atmosphere. So now we are raising the temperature. So when we have raised the temperature, let us say we have raised the temperature up to 60 degrees Celsius. At 60 degrees Celsius, the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equal to 1 atmosphere. Right from starting from 0.94 atmosphere at 25 degrees Celsius, we have raised the temperature up to 60 degrees Celsius, and gradually the pressure has increased. What pressure? Vapor pressure. The vapor pressure has increased up to 1 atmosphere. The moment the vapor pressure becomes 1 atmosphere, the liquid will start boiling. So boiling point is nothing but at which the vapor pressure of the liquid becomes equal to external vapor pressure. Okay. So if we say the intermolecular forces are strong, so for example, we have a liquid whose intermolecular forces are very strong. It means it will evaporate less. That is, evaporation tendency will be less in comparison to other liquid. So let us say we are changing the liquid. We have replaced the liquid. Initially we had water. Water boiled at 100 degrees Celsius. Everybody among us knows that. We have taken C2H5OH, ethyl alcohol. Okay. So if we have taken ethyl alcohol, it will boil at, with temperature, it will boil at 78 degrees Celsius. If the temperature goes to 78 degrees Celsius, ethyl alcohol will boil. Okay. 78 degrees Celsius is less than 100 degrees Celsius. So what can we say about intermolecular forces? The intermolecular forces of ethyl alcohol is less than intermolecular forces of water. Lower the boiling point, lower is the intermolecular forces, or you can say higher is the vapor pressure. So for example, we say we have taken the example of ethyl alcohol and water. So clearly the vapor pressure of ethyl alcohol is greater than vapor pressure of water at 25 degrees Celsius and at 78 degrees Celsius as well, because at 78 degrees Celsius the vapor pressure of ethyl alcohol reached to 1 atmosphere, but still the vapor pressure of water is less than 1 atmosphere. If we further raise the temperature of water up to 100 degrees Celsius, now the vapor pressure of the water will become 1 atmosphere. So clearly at any temperature, the vapor pressure, at any temperature, let us say room temperature, the vapor pressure of ethyl alcohol is greater than vapor pressure of water, and the intermolecular forces of H2O are stronger in comparison to ethyl alcohol. So let us say now what we are doing, we are reaching the equilibrium condition. Now we are reaching the equilibrium condition. We have this equilibrium condition of liquid and vapor phase of water. Now we are putting experiment using water. We are doing an experiment using water. Okay. Now at equilibrium condition we are measuring the vapor pressure, and in class 11, or you can say in South India you can say junior classes, in North India they say 11th class, or in CBC schools they say 11th class. So according to the equilibrium condition, what is the Kp? Do you know Kp? Kp and Kc? Equilibrium constant in vapor phase, isn't it? Equilibrium constant. So equilibrium constant it will be how much? H2O vapor upon H2O liquid. So liquid is 1 and this is vapor, so we only take the vapors. So Kp is nothing but it is equal to vapor pressure of water, isn't it? Kp is nothing but it is equal to vapor pressure of water. Here it is written pressure of water is equal to the equilibrium constant, and that is equal to vapor pressure because equilibrium constant is measured at the equilibrium condition only. And at equilibrium condition, what will be the pressure? The vapor pressure itself, as we have already understood. Whenever there is equilibrium, the vapors exerted by the pressure exerted by the component, or you can say the liquid in the vapor phase, is called vapor pressure, and that itself is called aqueous tension. Aqueous tension, that is the vapor pressure exerted by the water in the equilibrium condition. Vapor pressure exerted by the water in equilibrium condition is called aqueous tension of water. Okay, everybody understands that? That is called aqueous tension of water. And we know very well, in class 11 we have studied that equilibrium constant depends on temperature only. So here Kp, because we are dealing in vapor phase, that depends on temperature only, and Kp is equal to vapor pressure. We have studied for water, Kp is equal to vapor pressure. So we can say the vapor pressure depends only on temperature. Instead of Kp, we are writing vapor pressure, because we have studied over here Kp is equal to pressure of water, which is equal to vapor pressure at equilibrium condition. So that depends only on T. So the vapor pressure on each liquid, that is the vapor pressure of each liquid, is fixed, isn't it? Yes or no?